experiencing this scenario. You're sitting in your car, 10 minutes from the office, sipping the expensive coffee you picked up on the way. Your phone dings with a deposit alert. It's the first of the month. You and your partner's combined six-figure salary just landed in your joint account. You glance at the number, $9,487. It feels good. Yeah, you tap your steering wheel to the music, the weight of the mortgage, the car payments, the private preschool tuition, all feeling a little lighter for a moment. Behavior. You've made it. You're the modern power couple. 2 careers, 1 beautiful life. The system is working. But what if I told you that moment of relief is the exact illusion the trap is designed to create? But what if I told you that your parents, on one modest income, had more financial slack, more security, and more freedom than you do today with double the earnings? But what if I told you that by going from 1 income to 2, you didn't double your safety net, you actually, mathematically, cut it in half? This isn't just about being busy or stressed. This is a catastrophic design flaw in the modern middle-class financial plan. My name is Bobby, and I spend way too much time thinking about why modern wealth feels so fragile. If you're someone who looks at your combined income and still feels one unexpected bill away from disaster, or if you've ever gotten a raise only to watch it vanish into thin air, or if you've laid awake wondering why your parents seem so much more secure on so much less, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we aren't talking about budgeting. We are talking about the architectural flaw. We're talking about why earning more can make you more broke. Here's the thing about financial security. Conventional wisdom screams that more income equals more safety. It's simple arithmetic, right? 2 is greater than 1. They tell you to hustle, to climb, to add that second income stream. But that advice ignores a fundamental economic law. When millions of people all get a second income, the market adjusts to capture it. You are not bidding against prices. You are bidding against other 2-income families. And that changes everything. To understand this, we need to go back to 1970. The typical middle-class family had a single breadwinner. Let's call him Frank. Frank worked at the plant, bringing home about $9,000 a year, which is roughly $65,000 in today's money. His wife, Mary, managed the home. They owned a modest 1,500 square foot house in a decent neighborhood. They had 1 car. Their biggest fixed expenses were the mortgage and the car payment. Mary wasn't just a homemaker, she was the family's chief risk officer. If Frank got laid off or sick, Mary could enter the workforce. Her potential income was the family's emergency fund. The 1970s hit, inflation spiked, wages stagnated, and a powerful cultural shift began, rightfully opening the workforce to women. By the 1980s, the 2-income family was no longer a luxury. It was marketed as a necessity to keep up. Of Marys entered the workforce. This triggered a cascade. Now, when families went to buy a house, they were bidding with 2 incomes. They all wanted the same thing, the best public schools for their kids. So they bid against each other, pouring this new dual earner purchasing power into a fixed supply of houses in good school districts. Housing prices didn't just rise, they skyrocketed, divorcing from single-income affordability. The second income was no longer for savings or vacations. It was mortgaged. Literally, it was now required to service the debt on the house. Mary's safety net role was gone. Frank lost his job. Now, they lost 100% of their income, not 50%. The backup plan had been signed away at the closing table. By the year 2000, families were earning more on paper but had less disposable income and were filing for bankruptcy at unprecedented rates. Harvard law professor Elizabeth Warren and her daughter Amelia Tyagi documented this exact phenomenon in their 2003 research. They gave it a name, and in the last 20 years, with college costs and childcare exploding, the trap's jaws have only tightened. Now you might be thinking, okay, Bobby, that's a nice history lesson, but how does that apply to my actual life in 2025? Well, look around you. This dynamic is everywhere. Let's take the house. You and your partner earn $67,000 and $60,000. You look for a home. The bank pre-approves you based on your combined $127,000 income. If you find a 3-bedroom in an 1882nd of 10 school district for $650,000. With 10% down, your payment is $4,400 a month. We can make $4,400 work, but the trap is in the word can. That payment assumes both incomes are permanent and unshakable. It bakes the second salary directly into the foundation of your largest expense. Your house is no longer just a home. It's a financial instrument that requires 2 perfect careers to sustain. If one fails, the instrument collapses. Then there's the lifestyle creep. You don't buy one used car for $8,000 cash. You lease 2 new SUVs for $550 each because you need reliable cars for your careers. That's $13,200 a year that never builds equity. You outsource cooking, cleaning, and home maintenance because you're time poor, adding another $600 a month. The second income gets funneled right back into servicing the life the second income necessitates. Think higher tax brackets, double the commute costs, professional development fees. This is what we call the dual earner doom loop. You run faster on a treadmill that's accelerating just to stay in the same precarious place.
Let's perform a brutal audit of this.
Let's call this person Chris. Chris and their partner start with a combined gross income of $127,000. The world sees a powerful 6-figure household. Their take-home, after taxes, is about $7,930 per month. First, there's the captured income, the housing cost. On one income of $67,000, they'd qualify for a mortgage of about $280,000. Here, on 2 incomes, they qualify for that $650,000 house. The market knows this, so they buy it. Their mortgage is $4,400. Now, subtract what a 1-income mortgage would cost, which is about $1,800. That means $2,600 of the second income is immediately captured. Just by the house, the running total for the second income's value is now just $1,150. But that's the easy math. We all know housing is expensive. Now we have to subtract the enabler costs. To have that second career, you need logistics, full-time infant childcare in a metro area. That's $2,150 a month. A second car, with payment, insurance, gas, and maintenance, that's another $700 a month. So that's $2,850 just to enable the second person to go to work. The total is now negative. $1,150 minus $2,850 is negative $1,700. The second income is now a liability before they've bought a single gallon of milk. But we're not done. Then there's the time tax. 2 careers mean no one is home to manage life. You pay a premium for convenience, meal kits instead of cooking, plus $300 a month. Cleaning service, plus $200. More takeout, higher dry cleaning bills, another $250. That's $750 a month. The new total is negative $1,700 minus $750, which is negative $2,450. And it gets worse. Then there's the darkest cost, the vanished safety net. In a 1-income model, the non-working partner is a live-in insurance policy against disaster. In the 2-income trap, that policy is canceled. How do we price that security? Let's value it conservatively, like the premium for a rock-solid income insurance policy. Let's call it $500 a month in lost, unpriced flexibility. The final calculation? Negative $2,450 minus $500 is negative $2,950 per month. So let's add it up. The second income brings in $3,750 after taxes. From that, we subtract the housing capture of $2,600, the enabler costs of $2,850, the time tax of $750, and the risk premium of $500. That's a total drain of $6,700 against an income of $3,750. That's not a typo. A $60,000 a year salary actually becomes a $2,950 per month liability, or over $35,000 a year in net loss. Or you are paying, not earning, to stay in the trap. Think about that for a second. And we haven't even touched on the broader data. According to a 2023 report from the Harvard Joint Center for Housing Studies, nearly half of all renter households are cost-burdened, spending over 30% of their income on housing. For homeowners with a mortgage, it's 24%. The primary driver? Housing. Costs have far outpaced income, fueled by dual income bidding wars. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Marriage and Family found that the addition of a second income has a surprisingly weak effect on a family's financial satisfaction, largely because it's consumed by fixed costs. And the Federal Reserve's 2023 survey of household economics and decision-making found that 37% of adults couldn't cover a $400 emergency with cash, a figure that includes households earning over $100,000. This means the two-income model hasn't created wealth. It has simply redefined the baseline cost of a middle-class life, stripping away all financial resilience in the process. Before you say, but we need two incomes to survive, that's my point. You've been forced into needing it because the system adjusted to require it. In 1973, one median income could buy a median house. Today, it takes 6 median incomes. The system captured the second income. That's the equivalent of everyone in a stadium standing up to see better. No one sees better, but now everyone is forced to stand. Sitting down means you see nothing at all. This is where it gets really interesting. The two-income trap isn't an accident. It's a self-reinforcing economic cycle. When you commit to two incomes, you qualify for and buy a more expensive, competitively bid house. That massive fixed cost then forces you to maintain both incomes at all costs. The stress of maintaining both incomes makes you time poor, so you outsource more, spending the second income to sustain the life it necessitates, making you even more dependent on it. It's like building your dream house on the edge of a cliff for the view. The moment you move in, you realize you have to spend all your time, money, and energy building bigger and bigger retaining walls to keep the whole thing from sliding into the ocean. You never get to enjoy the view. And here's what really gets me. The real estate, auto, and childcare industries rely on your locked-in participation. They underwrite mortgages based on your dual income stability. They depend on you believing a 3-bedroom in an 8-out of 1-0 school district is a non-negotiable necessity. Here, they literally budget for your need for 2 new cars every 3 years and your absolute requirement for full-time daycare. When you start doing things differently, when you live on one income in a modest house, drive used cars, and have a parent provide childcare, you become a bad customer for them, but a world-class CFO for your own family. These industries want you to focus on getting ahead and keeping up with the Joneses because that hides the true cost. You're on a hedonic treadmill, financing their quarterly profits with your lifelong risk. This isn't just bad psychology or bad math. This is predatory. This is designed. This is a scam wrapped in the American dream. Now I can hear the objections already. Bobby, we literally couldn't pay our bills on one income. It's not a choice. And look, I get it. That feels absolutely true and incredibly stressful. It means you're already deep in the trap. Your fixed costs have expanded to consume the second income. The escape isn't an overnight jump. It's a strategic multi-year rewiring. You might also be thinking, what about equality? Telling women to stay home is regressive. But this isn't about gender roles. It's about household economics. The stay-at-home partner in this model is the chief risk mitigation officer. Their job is to build slack, reduce fixed costs, and create optionality. This role has immense financial value, whether filled by a man, a woman, or achieved through part-time work or geographic arbitrage. The problem isn't two people working. The problem is building a life that catastrophically collapses if either person stops. So what do you actually do with this information? Behavior. How do you escape the trap? Let me give you something practical. Strategy number 1. The one-income lifestyle test. This is where you immediately start living on only your higher income. Here you automate the entire second income after its tax withholdings into a separate, untouchable savings account. This works because it forces you to right-size your life to a truly sustainable level before a crisis hits. $700 buffer with the second income, proving its potential power instead of letting it vanish. Here's how to implement it. Step 1. Calculate the take-home of the higher income. Step 2. Move all auto-pays for your mortgage, utilities, and insurance to an account funded only by that income. Step 3. Use only that account for all daily spending. The second account is for saving and investing only. Step 4. Adjust your lifestyle now while you still have the safety valve of the second income. A person. If Chris lives on their partner's $67,000 take-home and funnels their own $3,750 a month into savings, they'll have $45,000 in 1 year. That's option. That's freedom. Strategy number 2, geographic arbitrage, or the power move. This is using remote work or strategic relocation to move to an area where your one income buys the life you want. It works because it breaks the direct link between your income and the hyperinflated housing costs of competitive dual-income labor markets. Identify towns where median home prices are 3 to 4 times your primary income, not 8 to 10. Research job markets or secure remote work. Take a scouting trip. Sell your trap house and use the equity to buy a home outright or with a tiny mortgage. Imagine a couple moving from Austin to a vibrant smaller city, cutting their mortgage from $4,400 to $1,600. That second income becomes pure profit. Strategy number 3. The Slack creator role. This is formalizing the role of the partner who focuses not on income, but on systematically reducing major costs. It works because it quantifies the value of homeschooling, home cooking, and skilled maintenance. This role's salary is the sum of expenses eliminated. To start, audit your last year of spending. Identify the top 5 trap costs, like childcare and convenience services. Calculate their annual total. That's the Slack creator's target salary. Have one partner transition even part-time with the explicit goal of eliminating those costs. By providing childcare and managing the home, the Slack creator might earn the family $45,000 in avoided costs, tax-free. But the biggest shift is psychological. You have to start measuring optionality instead of income. You have to ask, what can we survive, instead of, what can we afford? Here, you're not a 2 six-figure income household. You're a one-income resilient household with a massive savings rate. Here's what I want you to do this weekend. Sit down and run the one-income lifestyle test math. Take your primary earner's take-home. List every single non-negotiable monthly bill. Can that one income cover it all? If the answer is no, you now have a precise map of your vulnerability. That awareness is the first step out of the fog. I want to leave you with one final thought. The two-income trap isn't really about money, it's about time, sovereignty, and love. We thought trading a parent's time for more money was a net gain for the family here, but the reality is we traded flexible time with our children for rigid time in cubicles. We traded home-cooked meals for stress. We traded a partner who could handle a crisis for a second paycheck that disappears the moment a crisis hits. For our grandparents had slack. They had time to garden, to fix a broken faucet, to help a neighbor. We traded that slack for granite countertops and SUVs, and we are exhausted, anxious, and fragile. The people who actually thrive financially aren't the ones with the highest combined income on their block. They're the ones who've mastered the art of the low fixed cost life. They control their time. They have margin for error. They can say no to a toxic job because their survival isn't wired into it. You can't out-earn a system designed to capture your earnings. But you can outmaneuver it by redesigning your life around a fortress of low expenses and high optionality. That fortress isn't built with a second income. It's built with intentionality, and it's guarded by the priceless non-renewable asset of your own time. You're not broken for feeling stretched thin on a great income. Hide in a brilliantly designed trap. This journey is unfair and it's hard. But once you understand the math of the trap, you can stop feeding it and start building real, unshakable security. Man fishery. If this video reframed your entire financial life, share it with another couple feeling the same pressure. Smash that like button and hit subscribe for more content that challenges how you think about money. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.